What's up, guys? M. Jones back in the house again for a December 17th Blu-ray update. Now, it's been a while. I think it's been like almost 2 months. I know, I'm sorry. Things have been crazy in my life for the last couple weeks / month, so just finally had some time to finally give you a Blu-ray update. I have about 10 to 11 Blu-rays I want to talk about today. And excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold, so I might sound nasally. I have about 10 to 11 Blu-rays I want to go over. And I have, unfortunately, about 6 or 7 DVDs. I know, I always say this. I don't want to talk about DVDs, but there's no way these movies are going to go to Blu-ray, at least for now. So that's why I had to get them, because I wanted to watch them. But anyway, let's go through the Blu-rays first, and then we'll do DVDs. Alphabetized as always. I picked this, I would say since probably like October, since I did my last Blu-ray update. I was probably buying about 2 to 3 movies every week, I would say. So that's why I probably have this huge list. But I got this movie, Age of Adeline. I got it probably, I guess, like a month or so ago. And I was kind of interested in this movie before it even came out because I really liked the trailer. I liked the premise. It kind of has that Benjamin Button feel a little bit. And, you know, I didn't know much about it. And I think Blake Lively, I think she's a beautiful girl. And definitely a looker. But I never really thought much of her acting. But I have to say, I saw this movie and I loved her acting. She was outstanding in this movie. You know, and I don't want to say too much in this whole Blu-ray update. I just want to kind of go through them because there's so many. But I'll just kind of say, if you definitely check it out, you know, or don't check it out. There's some movies that I kind of blindly buy and don't watch beforehand, and I'll tell you not to even watch them. This one, definitely watch. I really like this movie. Really loved Harrison Ford was in this movie, and I would say he was, I wouldn't say a cameo, but I would say he was a smaller part, but a very important part, and he was awesome. And I really like the European actor in this movie. I think his name is Michael Huseman, and he plays this guy right here, and he is very important to the story. Again, don't want to tell you too much, but I really enjoyed this movie, and thought it had some really cool scenes, really cool. What's the word I'm trying to look for? Just some really cool atmospheric stuff that the camera really shot really well for this movie. I really enjoyed it. I loved how they went back in time in like the early 1900s, and you know they showed how everything was. They did their homework. Production team did a great job. Definitely check this movie out. The Age of Adeline. Loved it. Okay, next one. I was referred this from an older client of mine, and they told me, you have to see a movie of Jeff Bridges and Glenn Close. And I said, well, I don't know what that is, because I like Jeff Bridges. I like him in everything he's done. A Big Lebowski, Blown Away, all those movies. And then Glenn Close is amazing. You know, Fatal Attraction, Air Force One, and he said, a client of mine said, you should check out a movie called Jagged Edge. And I said, Jagged Edge? I said, I never even heard of it. And it's a murder mystery regards to Jeff Bridges' wife, who was slain. And this here is Glenn Close, and she was like she was a lawyer to him being accused of the murder. And time goes by, and they start to realize they have a lot of chemistry, even though his wife was just killed. And all this stuff comes about and comes out, and it is actually a really good movie. Probably mid '80s, I would say this movie came out. I'd say yeah, exactly, 1985, mid '80s. And I really, really like this movie. And it's definitely one of those movies you have to pay attention, and there's clues throughout the movie, and you know, you kind of discover things as they discover things, and that makes it really fun. But I really enjoyed this. I'm sure it's probably, I probably didn't have to even buy it, but I couldn't find it anywhere on my TV like Netflix or on-demand stuff, so I just bit the bullet and got it. I think I got it at Amazon, probably purchased it for maybe, I'm going to say probably $6-7, something like that. Check it out. It was a fun movie. It was a good, very good movie. Okay, now I reviewed this movie, The Lifeguard, with Kristen Bell, probably maybe like 2-3 years ago, and they never released it on Blu-ray. It was released on DVD, and I'm like, well, in this day and age, everything should be released Blu-ray, and this was never released Blu-ray until like recently, of like maybe 3 months ago. Or 2 months ago. So I got it right away because I loved this movie. I thought it was really good. Really, you could maybe say suggestive material and some perversion, if you're a prude. But in this movie, it is what it is, and I really thought it was an amazing movie. Mae Montgomery, who's Meryl Streep's daughter, she was in this, and she was kind of like her like older high school friend from back in the day, kind of estranged, but they're still friends, and she kind of has like nothing really going on in her life. She's lost her job in New York. She moves back home, and she just becomes a lifeguard at a local swimming hole, and kind of falls in love with a minor. And it's completely wrong, but it's just. It is what it is on this, and the movie is interesting. And Martin Starr from what's that TV show he was in with Seth Rogen? I forget. Freaks and Geeks. Martin Starr. He was in this, and he plays an interesting guy too. And I just really love this movie. It does have some suggestive material, and it has some serious stuff that happens too. Some like death, and it really hits home in this whole movie. So I have to say I really, really love this movie, and I definitely will probably watch it again because it was very interesting. Definitely check it out. It's good. All right. The only rom-com, well, no, couple rom-coms. So I got The Longest Ride, with Scott Eastwood, Clint's son, and the girl, I think her name is Britt Robertson. I don't know who that is. She was a good-looking girl. But anyway, it's just a coming one of those sweet rom-coms. She's from New Jersey. She's in school down in like Duke, and he's a cowboy, and they're not supposed to like each other, obviously, and of course they fall in love, and there's good and there's bad and everything like that, and I think the cornerstone of this movie was Alan Alda's character, who really kind of was the base of this movie, why you would have any kind of emotion. Alan Alda was awesome in this. I remember him from MASH, and he was very good in this movie. And and these two kind of connect because of Alan Alda. And I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I must say I actually did enjoy this. I think it was a better movie for the Nicholas Sparks movies. I thought it was very good. It's not Notebook. It's not The Notebook, but I would say second or third. It was very good. Check it out. I actually really liked it. I'm a sucker for Christmas movies. I love all Christmas movies. I saw a movie I guess I saw either last year, and it was on the Hallmark Channel, and I actually liked it because I like Henry Winkler, and I met him at one of the Chiller Theater horror conventions in New Jersey. He's super cool, really nice guy, and it's called The Most Wonderful Time of the Year, and I really did like this movie. I mean, it's a very typical TV movie, like made for TV. No way in hell this is going to theaters. But Henry Winkler was really good in this. Just a loving guy. And the girl, the whole time I was watching this movie, I'm like, who is that girl? I've seen her so many times. And her name is Brooke Burns, and she's completely total smokehouse. But I had no idea where I saw her from. So the whole movie I'm watching, I'm like, God, she looks so familiar, but I just don't know who she is. So finally it hit me. Shallow Hal. She was the real hot chick that Hal saw, but really in real life she wasn't very attractive. But that was actually her in Shallow Hal, who had that real long nose and was in a taxi with him. So I was like, oh, that's her. And I didn't cheat and do IMDb or anything like that. I just kept trying to figure it out. Finally figured it out. It was Shallow Hal. This is a pretty good movie. It's fun for the family. It's a sweet movie. You'll like it. And I already own this movie, but they had the collectible steelbook at Best Buy, and it was the Christmas Vacation. Obviously, I'm not going to even patronize any of you. If you've never seen this, just unsubscribe. I don't want to know you. But this movie right here is it's the greatest Christmas movie ever made. I love this movie. I'm not gonna waste your time anymore. You've seen it, you know it. But I'll show you what the steelbook looks like. I thought it was awesome. It was cheap too. I got it. I think it was like $9, $10. I had to get it collectible. I'm probably not gonna open it because I already own it. So this was a great movie. Phenomenal movie. Okay. So far, one of my favorite movies of 2015. My other favorite was Bridge of Spies. But this was my other favorite from Bridge of Spies. Selfless. I loved this movie. I had absolutely the lowest expectations. Because I'm thinking, Ryan Reynolds, it's hard to take him serious because he's so funny. And he seems like he's taking a serious role in this. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Here comes here comes Deadpool again. Like, oh, Christ, kill me. This movie was amazing. And Ben Kingsley is, I mean, he's a multi-millionaire guy, and he has this huge company, whatever, and he basically goes under like a medical procedure that he transfers his mind to his mind and transfers his body, gets rid of his body and just becomes him. And you find out that this guy might have been killed also for him to get the body, and it's just like, whoa. And there's this bad organization after him and all this stuff, and you got to see it. It's really hard to kind of explain this movie. You have to almost watch it to be like, oh, okay. My fiance and I loved this movie. I loved this movie. I thought it was an amazing movie. Ryan Reynolds was fantastic. You had the emotion, you had the worry, you had all that as an audience member. I really, really love this movie. Definitely this so far, and Bridge of Spies are my two favorite movies so far this year. Now, this is not going to touch any Oscars. Bridge of Spies might. This one won't, but it was awesome. Awesome sci-fi, thriller, action. Fantastic movie. Check this out. You'll love it. Absolutely love it. I did. I don't know how the hell. This is a violation. I don't know how the hell I didn't have this, but I had to get it. And the reason why I had to get it is not just because The Force Awakens comes out tonight, or tomorrow, whatever. But I had to get, Spaceballs. I mean, they parody, episode 4 through 6, and this movie's so funny. I love Pizza the Hut, and I love Rick Moranis has a huge black helmet, for Darth Vader. I thought that was so great. And John Candy plays, John Candy plays Barf, like supposed to be like Chewbacca. Just love this, and I'm probably going to give this one a watch before I go see Force Awakens. And I will see Force Awakens really soon. Not like tomorrow or anything like that, but I will see Force Awakens within the week. Even maybe till next week. But I'm going to see it with Jim Bob and also my fiance, and I'll make sure to have a review for you with Jim Bob. But yeah, love this movie. It's so funny. Anything Mel Brooks, I mean, he's a lady killer, man. He's awesome. I love Mel Brooks movies, and I just really love this movie. I thought it was so funny. And I have to say, if you're going to parody movies, this one was great too, but the Family Guy ones are awesome when they parody The New Hope, and then of course, Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi. Seth MacFarlane did amazing justice for his parodies. But this one's great too. So you got to check this out. It's super funny. I think it's kind of timeless because there's so many funny gags, and it still makes me laugh. And, a young Bill Pullman in this, too, right before, like, Independence Day and all that, and Casper. So it was just, I really love this. You have to see it. If you're a Star Wars buff, I'm not going to even waste your time asking if you've seen it. All right, the next one, had to get because I'm just a huge mark for Toy Story. I love anything Toy Story. This is it's that time forgot. And this one focuses more on Trixie, who's the Triceratops. It's this one right here kind of focuses more on her, and I really liked it. I like this movie a lot because anything I feel like Pixar does is great, and I feel like this is their baby. Toy Story is the biggest baby of Pixar, and I really love this movie very much, and it's not that long too. It was maybe a half hour, but it was just fun to watch. It's fun to see them all get back together and all the toys and stuff like that. So check this out. Fun. Simple as that. Fun. Wow. So I told you my two favorite movies so far this year, and there's so many Oscar movies coming out. There's so many Oscars movies coming out. And I also say Creed was probably my other favorite movie of 2015 so far. But this is probably my favorite comedy of 2015. I was not expected to enjoy this. I was not. Because I thought it'd be really stupid. I thought this movie was a riot. It was National Lampoon's Vacation. It was similar. It was, I would say, in the style of or a la the original Vacation. But this was, instead of this being Clark, this was actually grown-up Rusty and his wife, Christine Applegate, and his two kids, James and Kevin. And he wants to take them, to Wally World, where he went, and it's like 2,500 miles he has to drive, and he rents this piece of shit Albanian Prancer, which is like a Honda Odyssey or like any kind of minivan in America, and it was like an Albanian Albanian like van, and apparently, he tried to rent a car during Memorial Day, and there was no cars left during Memorial Day, and he got this piece of shit van. And the van was so funny because it had a key fob of all these icons that made no sense to what action they would do. Like there was a muffin top, and there was like a Nazi swastika, and his wife's like, "Do not hit that button." And the whole movie's great. Like I laughed so hard at this movie. It was mainly because of that damn car. If you see this, the two things that I love so much about this movie was the car they rent, this piece of shit blue minivan, and then Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he plays Chad, and he's kind of like a tour guide for like whitewater rafting, and his part is hilarious. Funniest movie 2015, easily. I laughed the entire time this movie. Gotta see it. So funny. Alright, last Blu-ray before I go to DVDs. So, I don't know why I bought this. I really don't know why. I know I got it for like $3 or $4, and like I thought the movie was kind of lame when I first saw it back in like '07. It's Wild Hogs, and it's not a great movie. It's just one of those movies where you don't have to think at all. You can just pop it in, just be like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy the next hour and 42 minutes of my life, because I know I'm not gonna feel stupid because of watching this. Like I'm gonna just laugh at this movie and be over. So I got it because it just brings back good memories. I remember I saw it, and I had a lot of good friends. We all went and saw it, and I just wanted to buy this again and just kind of watch it because I haven't seen it since '07. And it's not a terrible movie. Ray Liotta plays the bad guy, the villain in this movie, and he's not on here. But, these four very suburban people don't really do much of their lives except they go on their hogs and they go for like a ride. And they get in trouble with Ray Liotta's gang, and, it is what it is. But it's a fun movie. It's not a great movie. The acting it's a lot of overacting, and it's dumbed down, I think, because when I think of Martin Lawrence, I think of back in the 90s when he was like, he was the show Martin, and he was doing stand-up comedy, F this, F that. Like, he plays the most, like, vanilla ever of an actor. Just like Ice Cube does those Are We There Yet bullshit movies. Like, it's like, stop these movies. Like, be cool who you used to be bad boys. Like, but, and John Travolta, Tim Allen, he's cool. But William H. Macy, he's so uncomfortable in this movie. I'm not a William H. Macy fan, but, it is what it is. Alright, anyway, let's move on. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do these in alphabetical order. I'm just going to do them in sequences because I have them kind of set up that way. I don't want to do alphabetical order. It doesn't really matter. DVDs, come on, DVDs. So anyway, I got Deuce, Bigalow, and Hot Chick. Now, I'm dying for these to go Blu-ray. I love both these movies. This movie reminds me of like my buddies from high school, because I remember we begged my one buddy's dad to take us to see this, and it was rated R, which we were so like, what? We thought it was going to be PG-13, so we couldn't get in, so we had to have my buddy's dad, escort us into the movie so we could watch it. So it just brings back funny memories with my buddy Brian's dad, and like I just really love this movie, and it was so funny. And then Hot Chick was great because he switches bodies, and I think it was Rachel McAdams. It was, who was the girl? Whoa. Who's the girl he switches bodies with? I think it's Rachel McAdams. And, Rachel McAdams. And they switch bodies. And these two switch bodies. And he's like a thief, and she's like a girly girl, and then he becomes her, so he's like a girly girl, and she's like a horrible thief. It was really funny. Simple, like, again, it's mindless. It's like Wild Hogs. Mindless, but it's fun. But this is a classic. Deuce Bigelow's amazing comedy. I think it was like 1999. But I had to get those because God knows if they're going to go Blu-ray. And then the next three, I'm just going to go over quick. I wanted to do an update last month because this was all Thanksgiving movies. So, Home for the Holidays, I think is a phenomenal movie. And this movie I love because I was always a Holly Hunter fan. I always thought she was a good-looking broad, too. And, Dylan McDermott's in this, who's in Miracle on 34th Street, and not to be confused with Dermot Mulroney, but Dylan McDermott, who is right here, if you can see him, sort of. and a younger Robert Downey Jr., like when he's in his late 20s. And the reason why I love this movie because it reminds me of like Thanksgiving and how hectic Thanksgiving can be because you're with people that are your family. That doesn't mean they're your friends, but they're your family, and they're all nuts. And it's so true. And I really love this movie. And this movie was with Anne Bancroft, who was, I think, Mrs. Robinson. And you know, that's, you know, she was still good looking in this movie. Like, she was always a good looking woman. And she's still good looking in this movie. It's like, Jesus. And, you know, in this movie also, like I said, Robert Downey Jr. Now, this movie's well known for Robert Downey Jr. Basically struggling the most with his heroin addiction. It's even in the trivia for IMDb. During this movie, he was heavily involved in drugs. And if you can spot him, he's right there. And he plays a gay guy in this movie. And he did a really good job as it also. But this whole movie, it's funny to watch him act because you're thinking he's got so much drugs going on, the remnants of that, and you can just tell like he was struggling right here in life. In real life he was struggling, but he gave a really good performance. Really like this movie. The next one was Pieces of April. You know what? I probably wouldn't watch it ever again. I just wasn't my thing. You know, I'll say something about Piece of April. It was about, you know, Katie Holmes and her boyfriend, I think Derek Luke. Is that Derek? Yeah, Derek Luke. They were together and they had to get a Thanksgiving turkey ready because her family from Pennsylvania were coming to see her in Manhattan, and her mom has some problems. And that was Patricia Clarkson, and she was actually nominated for Best Supporting Actress or Best Actress for this movie. She was really good, but she just played. I forget what was wrong with her, but there was something wrong with her mentally, and the movie just wasn't for me. It was very dark, very dry, very slow. It has good reviews. I mean, the acting was good, the prowess was there, but it just wasn't for me. I was bored. I kept checking my phone, I'm done. But it was a Thanksgiving movie, and it was very somber. It wasn't like, you know, it's funny. It was just kind of, it was kind of awkward too. It was a lot of awkward scenes, but not for me. I was not into it. But I had to get it. It was Thanksgiving, so. And then of course the Ice Storm. You know, this is an Ang Lee film. This is a really good movie. You know, anything with Kevin Kline, I'm 100% in. And this was basically, it was I would say an emotional movie for sure. It was more based on like in the 1970s dealt with Thanksgiving as well. And it just was, it was a really good movie. Again, a little dark though. Like it wasn't like Home for the Holidays. This was like more serious, just like this one. But I would recommend it to you. I enjoyed it. I did. Alright. The next one, I had to get this. I love this movie. I can't see this going Blu-ray because I feel like if a Pauly Shore movie ever goes Blu-ray, then I think I might play the lottery and win. I just don't see his movies going to Blu-ray, which is a shame because I love him. But Son-in-Law is one of my favorite movies of him. Like Encino Man, he's great. Jury Duty and In the Army Now is another great one he's in. You know, and Biodome is alright. But I love him in this. He plays the character Crawl, and he's the RA of the college that this girl goes to. She's from a small town in like Iowa, and then he's in California, and she goes to that school in California and kind of breaks her out of her, you know, valedictorian mold and goody and, you know, a prude. And he goes back with her for Thanksgiving to, you know, to help her keep her old ex-boyfriend away and say that they're engaged, and all this stuff happens, and he wants to farm, and he's a California hippie, and there's so many funny things that happen in this movie. This is a great movie. You know, a young Kelly Kapowski, Tiffany Amber Thiesen's in this movie, and she's smoking hot in that movie. So check this out. It was really good. So the very last thing I want to go over, I'm trying to keep this under a half hour, which I have, so that's good. I got the documentary. I'm honestly, I'm a big wrestling fan. You know, when I was a kid, I loved WWF, and then it turned WWE, and I kind of took a break from it. And I kind of got back into the WWE again about 2 years ago, so I've been watching that pretty hard. I know, it is what it is. You can't help what I loved as a kid. But I got the documentary of the Mark Bagwell journey. It's basically the story of Mark Buff Bagwell. and it was, I don't know, it was okay. And this guy's trying to make a buck for sure. It's not really a documentary. It's just more of an interview. Like there's a British guy who's sitting this way, this way, and then Mark Bagwell's sitting this way, and he's just asking him questions. It's not really like a documentary. It's just you're just watching him answer questions. There's a few parts that are a little, come on, dude, a little screwy. But I loved Buff Bagwell when I was a kid from NWO, and I liked his story, so I had to get it. Don't buy it. It's all right. If you love Buff Bagwell, get it. But like, if you're just a casual wrestling fan, you're not going to really care about this. But I had to get it just because I've always liked Buff Bagwell, and I wanted to know more about him. And I learned a lot more about him. So there you go. I won. And they won. But anyway, that is my December 17th Blu-ray update. Probably won't have anything for a while. I'll probably have some in-theater reviews coming up. But DVD and Blu-ray updates, I doubt it. Just because I've had, I reviewed a lot, and I'm not planning on buying anything for a little while. Trying to save a little bit, Christmas season and all that. So, until then, you take it easy, and okay, bye.